So, um, after my first day of school, there were this, I don't know, a little more than a week maybe, um, of just verbal torture. Um, and what was really sad was I was trying to be their friends. I really was trying to befriend them because I didn't have friends. Um, I mean, it's so funny because I got along with everybody at school, but for the most part, everybody I went to school with who was in my wing were Air Force, and they all live in a completely different side of town. So then I would come home and I was terrified. Like boarding the bus every morning and boarding the bus after school was very difficult for me. I wished that I didn't have to. I wish I knew the bus routes well enough to use my allowance to take the public bus home, you know, but I didn't. And so, it was a terrifying experience for me. Um, and in fact, afterwards, taking buses to school, after we moved back I begged my parents not to let me on the bus. Like, please just drive me. Just please drive me. Um, because it terrified me. Um, so, you know, several days later, probably not quite 2 weeks later, the Jennifer girl, her sister came up to me and she's like, "Hey, we're gonna go um, to this shopping area in Berlin, and why don't you come with us?" And I was like, "Hey, cool. Hey, her sister may not like me, and her sister may be making all these threats, but you know, hey, I'm gonna go. That sounds cool. That sounds like fun." And so um, we weren't really shopping. I had a couple coins in my pocket. This is when the mark was still around. Um, and so we get to the train station because we had to take the um, U-Bahn, um, which is like the above ground subway. Um, and we get to the station and get our ticket and get on the train. And just before the doors close, she jumps off. And I'm stuck on a train having no clue where I'm going. None whatsoever. Um, and I stayed on the train for a while, I guess long enough to get out of Berlin. Um, I don't know where I was. I was somewhere outside of Berlin, not quite to Hamburg yet. I have no clue. But I finally got out because the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I have no clue where I'm at. I have no clue how to get home. I have no clue how to tell anyone where I live. I have no clue. And so I just sat there like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, eventually I'm like, I've been on this train so long, I have to get off. I have to. And I get off the train and then I'm looking at the map trying to find my neighborhood, trying to find my street. I knew I lived on Winter Haven or Summer Geyser, something like that. Um, Winter Haven is a neighborhood here in Tucson. Um, it was like Summer Geyser something, I don't know. Summer Geis maybe? I don't remember. So I'm staring at this huge map looking for my road, like the street that I live on, and I just start crying because I can't find it and I have no clue where I'm going. I have no clue where I'm at. Um, and I'm just standing there crying. And this nice German man comes up. He's speaking to me in German, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And so he knew that I couldn't speak English or couldn't speak German. He knew English, so he's like, "Where are you going? Where are your parents?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And so he asked me where I lived. I told him, you know, Sumergeist, something, whatever it was, and he's like, well, you have to go here and you have to go on this one. He's like, do your parents know where you are? And I'm like, no. And I had my phone number written down, so he called, and I told him, where I was, and my mom was freaking out. And she's like, I'll meet you at the train station. I'll meet you at the train station. Just get back on the train and go, come back. And we went to the ticket counter, and I didn't have enough money to buy a ticket. So the kind gentleman bought one for me. And honestly, the whole time, I thought my mom was going to be so mad. That I had trusted these people. But, it just, I wanted a friend so bad. But I got home. She went and yelled at at her parents. They didn't do anything. When they would do stuff like breaking my mailbox, my dad would go over and talk to the dad, and the dad would yell at him, but it didn't stop him. Later, another girl, we're playing on the playground, and it's like, oh well, let's pretend like you're my puppy, and she ties a jump rope around my neck and then tries to push me off the slide. Not down the slide, off the side. They cornered me in the pirate ship. There was like, the sandbox was like in the ship. They cornered me in there. They had me on the ground with my legs underneath me, like I was on my knees, and then they pushed me back. They started to beat me up, pour sand in my mouth. They urinated on me. They would get people I thought were my friends to take me out in the middle of nowhere and leave me. So truly, I had no friends. I got put in the hospital once. I still have a bump on my forehead. They were taking the cobblestones out of the roads around our community. They had a big pile of them. I was walking behind the complex. They turned, they're like, hey, Nick. Because I went by Nikki at that time. Hey, Nick. And I turned and looked, and this cobblestone hit me in the head. And got a concussion. Had to go to the hospital. I have to say, it was the worst time of my life. I hated my life at that time.